Get it going for 9/11 2023, baby. Just start the pod, right? Yeah.
I already had mine open, so.
You get the psst. Yeah. But what's up, everybody? We'll go ahead and actually, before we start anything, I would like to announce that we've gotten our first sponsor.
What?
First real sponsor. I'm very excited. And it is Honor Guard Coffee. So I had a really good friend in basic training AIT, and then she ended up getting med boarded out the army right before me. And she has a friend who has started Honor Guard Coffee. Honor Guard Coffee's mission is simple yet powerful. His plan is to pair every service dog with a vet, or a service dog with every vet. That's what saved his life, and he believes it could save more. I couldn't think of another mission that aligns with ours so well, and I'm very fortunate that we now have this on our side. So go on ahead and head over to Honor Guard Coffee. But with that,
And there we are.
intro, baby. We'll get a better ad going, but we wanted to just cook up a nice little podcast for y'all on 9/11. Go over a couple conspiracies, and if you want to call them a conspiracy, and just kind of analyze 9/11, analyze how it affected everybody's mind, and where we should go from there. Kev, what you got to say, man?
Yeah, no, it's a problem, I think, where a lot of us are into, I guess, conspiracy theories. And I mean, I think to trust the government's word at face value now is just, flat out stupid. I think I honestly, I probably think you'd have to be kind of an idiot to believe the government's word on anything at face value. But that doesn't mean that they can't be genuinely kind of correct. But with 9/11, it's tricky because I have like a lot of family members that were, directly impacted by that. And it's like, how do you kind of balance respecting their side with all the weird kind of stuff you hear about happening? I mean, we're going to get into all that, but our big focus is remembering the real victims of 9/11, everyone that died that day. But I think in their honor, it would only be wise to look at everything that happened then and not just say, oh, the government said this, it had to be true.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to go through too. It's kind of similar to the invasion of Iraq, or of course it correlates with the invasion of Iraq and the way that affected us veterans. I mean, we want to know the truth, and that's just simply put. We went over there, fought for the country. We want to know the truth, and at some point after getting back from a deployment or something, when I first touched down, I was like, all right, what am I actually here for? Like,
what's going on here?
Yeah, what's going on? What am I here for?
Ain't nothing around here, bro. The people can barely speak a language.
Yeah.
They're living in mud huts. And this is the enemy? Like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Come on. We'll catch y'all there. Episode 53, baby. Feeling good about it, and we're going live. So before we get started, check out the description, Honor Guard Coffee, and our episode with Uncle Eric, Kevin's uncle, who was in 9/11 there present. Had a couple photos for us, and yeah, just give it a look. It's a nice rundown from someone who was actually there.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
but the big butt, dude.
Big butt.
Big old butt.
Big old butt.
If y'all don't know, when we sound check, that's what we say is big butts, big butts.
So, big butts. Hope we're sounding good, feeling good.
I'm feeling good, bro. Big old butt with this whole 9/11 situation.
Yeah, big old butt with this 9/11 thing. Man, it's weird because now everything's coming out. I mean, at least with COVID, we were lucky. We have like technology and everything, so we know the facts around COVID way sooner. Because imagine if like COVID was a 9/11 thing and we learned all the facts 20 years later.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some shit that comes up, but I gotta believe it's like now where we know what happened more than they did back then, right?
Right.
But it's like still, it's almost at the point that we know what happened, it'll be too late.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah, that's true.
we probably will learn a lot more about COVID as that shit, as the year
Yeah.
goes.
I wonder if there was skeptics like let's say like a month after 9/11 thinking like there's no way. Come on.
Probably, but they probably were like hella scared to speak up too.
Yeah, I mean like you're saying balancing the skepticism while not affecting your empathy towards the ones involved. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's how I was. It was hard. It was hard for me to balance while I was truly in Iraq and Afghanistan with the fact that I mean we're all still over there fighting and we all still gave our lives to go do that. And it's hard for me to feel any type of self empathy. Like what's my problem, dude? I was over there, I was fighting, who cares?
You
But at
got
the same time,
swindled, bro.
yeah, but at the same time, dude, I battled this for like a year and a half, 2 years, where I was just thinking to myself, I can't believe the government got me like that. Like I can't
You
believe it felt
got hard,
so
bro.
bad. But on top of that, like it didn't take me years to figure it out. Or I guess it took me a couple years, but it didn't take me 20 years. Like Tucker Carlson saying his biggest mistake, I think this was on the Nelk Boys podcast he had. His biggest mistake in all of journalism that they asked, hey, what was your biggest mistake? He said supporting the Iraq war. But he caveated that with I didn't have all the details. We didn't have like an internet. We didn't have everybody on Twitter saying this about this or whatever it was. All the facts weren't coming out and all the different perspectives weren't coming out. So he didn't know and he had to support that while not knowing. And now he's just like blown away. It's kind of the same thing with me, but it's only
Well, I
2
mean,
years, you know.
imagine you were in, I think Vietnam, people knew that it was generally kind of nonsense, right?
Oh,
Imagine if you were in World War II, though, and you're just blissfully ignorant kind of to the reality that, you know, you may not be on the right side,
yeah.
or what you're doing is not the benefit that you think it is. It's like, is it better to be blissfully ignorant about all that, or just to kind of keep your head in the sand and know, or to actually know what's going on? Like, I mean, we look about it like this, though. We know what happens when a war happens and people don't know the true reality of it. We have that, I guess, experiment ran, right?
Yeah. But now
Yeah,
we're
now
figuring out with like Ukraine.
we're having wars where we all know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And all we can really do is compare it to the wars where they didn't believe it was bullshit, and then all the complacency that caused in this whole mess we're in now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's better to know, really. Like,
Yeah, I would not know. I would never want to be blissfully ignorant.
yeah, but they didn't know that they were, but like that's the
Yeah.
whole problem, is that caused this level of, like, I guess, complacency and patriotism that was just vulnerable to outside influence, I'll say.
Yeah. Because that's how I like started the army. I was like, I'm gonna go into the army. Like, I love America. And then like my first deployment, I'm like, wait a minute.
You realize maybe we're not the good guys, bro.
Yeah, and it took a while, but like I'd rather be where I am now with all the wisdom I have than remain, like you said, blissfully ignorant towards the whole situation. Where I was just like, Army, let's go, America, always
Yeah.
on America's side.
Did you ever see that video of that World War II veteran? He's like this Marine, right? And he's super old. He's talking like about how shitty things are now. And like they thought that they were conquering the world's evil in World War
Mhm.
II, only to arrive 70, 80 years later. And, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Like that would, I can't imagine how horrible that would be, dude.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. At least we know now instead of way later. Because
Yeah.
even like, I wonder how. I wish we could have got Eric on again, but we didn't plan anything today, so we're just kind of letting it rip. But I wonder how he feels towards all the conspiracies and all of that stuff. Because I I wonder if it's the same feeling that we got with with going to Iraq. Like, man, this happened to us. Like our
Mm.
own government did this to us. You could even play out the thing that they did it. Of course, they did it for power, not just for war. Because after that, you end up getting the TSA. After that, you get. I actually just learned this in my class, but the star on your driver's license didn't start until I think 2005, where the federal government said everybody who has a license needs a star on it, and that second picture, if you kind of tilt it or whatever, if you tilt your license, you
What
see a
the heck?
second picture. Hang on.
A star?
But there's a star. Yeah, hang on.
Hey, real time research right here, bro.
Yeah, so there's this star on everybody's license now. And that's why if you have an old license, like I got this Tennessee one, they cut off the star because it's no longer allowed by the federal government. But that star is the government overreaching their use of the Commerce Clause, saying that they can control interstate commerce and people flying from state to state. Well, let's get everyone with the star, and then you probably can't see it. There's probably no way to show
Yeah,
it, but
don't show the people your address though.
oh shit, hell. Well, now everybody knows where I live. I'll see you soon.
Hey,
Hey,
pull up
I'm
on
strapped,
Trev.
oh motherfucker.
Watch what happens, bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm on the second floor. I look out this window every day. I'm like, dude, this would be a sick spot to just fucking.
Pray to God, bro.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's just you could definitely make a huge argument that the government just wanted more power.
I mean, look at the Patriot Act. What happened to Iraq? Like right after that whole thing. Like that's probably the most overreaching piece of legislation in our nation's history. And it only happened because of 9/11.
Yeah.
Like how they were able to spy on Trump's campaign, dude. Like
Mhm.
that was with laws that were enabled by the Patriot Act.
All stemming from 9/11. But do you? Oh, we already got a comment. Do you believe? Do you believe they plan this out like years ahead? Like they're playing chess. They planned out like, oh, if we do this, then we could take more power here. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you just like the COVID thing? Do you think they planned it out, or they just said, let's do COVID? We know it's going to help us and not help the general population. Like, let's just do it and try and get
Oh,
away with things. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like, let's
I
just do 9/11 and try to get away with more things.
I think the Saudi government did it primarily. Now, whether or not that was to, be able to exert influence over us, I don't know, right? Or whether it was just because, we were meddling in their affairs. Who knows? Like that's my issue is I think the government, like the US government's account of what happened is generally kind of correct. It's just all these bad actors like the Israelis that might not have had full, influence over the cause, or not the cause, but like they didn't facilitate really anything, but they knew it was going to happen and kind
Mm,
of saw it aligning with their interests and saying, "Oh, fuck, we're just not going to stop this."
guilty by association type shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, I don't know why the Saudi Arabians did it, but like
I wonder. Well, I wonder if
shit.
they had beef with the Taliban.
The Saudi Arabians?
Yeah, like if they had beef with them and did this on purpose so that we would go after them. Or
Well,
like,
that would make sense because like the most of the hijackers were not from Iraq, but we invade Iraq right after. Like I never understood that, bro. We know where these cats are from. Or
no.
even that though. We know that too a lot because we found their passports in the rubble, dude. Now, my uncle said that there was not much in that rubble. Like he was finding arms and shit. how does a passport survive that trip? If they're in the dude's pocket, they're crashing into the top of the fucking building. How is the passport making its way down and in perfect condition? Explain to me how that happens. But
They
like,
did anti-resistant passport, anti-fire passport. Fire
yeah,
resistant.
but like, well, what's the alternative? Like, how else do you explain that? Like, it was in some police guy's pocket. He was like, "Oh fuck! Oh, hey, there it is." Hey, yo, what the heck is that over there?
Who put that there?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, but like, fuck, dude, there's just so much. That's what gets me about this whole thing is not what I guess we're told happened, but all the surrounding information that
Yeah.
there's just so much clouding about.
Yeah.
It's just weird, man. There's so like the dancing Israelis I was telling you about.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people will know about that.
If
What's
y'all don't know
explain
about the dancing Israelis, I encourage you to Google it, right? But essentially what happened is after the towers were hit, there were, I think, 5 people seen dancing on a rooftop, right? So lady sees them, calls the cops on them for dancing, acting suspicious. They detain these guys, find out they're working for like some telephone company, hold them for 71 days, and then deport them back to Israel. But like what they told the FBI, the dancing Israelis, they were just there to document the events. But then in their report, though, the FBI's report says they got there like an hour before the Twin Towers were even hit.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how did that happen? The same thing is true with the JFK assassinations, right? The famous where he gets popped in the head, the Zapruder film.
Mm-hmm.
How did he know that was going to happen? He doesn't even flinch when the gun goes off, bro. If you're recording the president and you hear a gunshot, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Fucking freak out. You're not
Yeah.
going to just keep the camera rolling the whole time.
Oh shit! I never thought about
You can
that.
see in interviews with this Zapruder guy, he's almost giddy about how seemingly excited he is. He's not like, oh, the president got shot. That sucks ass. He's like happy almost about it. Like it's just it's what I always say, bro. It's like I can't know if there's a conspiracy going on, right? But if there was, this is exactly what it's looking like.
Yeah, like rationally speaking, like just it makes sense, and it's
Why
hard to look past.
why are y'all dancing? You know,
Yeah.
there's a whole fucking I don't know everything about it, dude, but there's a whole like Fox News did a report on it about how the Israelis were hacking our our telephones and shit and getting our data, and that was kind of connected to the dancing Israelis. Like they work for the same telephone company. And the company where the people worked at, they all just packed up their shit and left once their secret lines had started to be tapped. Like they all work in this one company. The FBI starts tapping their phone lines, and then all of them pick up and move back to Israel. Like it's supposed to be a secret phone line, but how would y'all know that your shit was being tapped unless you knew? That it's like all this shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do we say, okay, this is kind of a bit much, man? Maybe we're being lied to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right? It's just
That's what I'm saying, though. It's hard to balance that with like the people who are grieving. Like you're not gonna walk up to somebody who lost their dad in 9/11 and be like, dude, you know everything was a scam, right?
the Israelis knew about that.
Yeah, like it's got to be pretty hard to deal with the truth now. And like yeah, I just do that. Oh man.
I mean, yeah, at what
trying to
point
think of it.
do you think like they're just believing what the government says because it's easier,
Yeah.
almost like a coping mechanism of sorts?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's hard, bro. Like,
I don't blame them, but I don't think there's any information you could show them or tell them that would change their mind.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a like a mass formation psychosis type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pro tip, bro. If you're arguing with someone that is like disagrees with you online, like just ask them, is there any evidence that'll change your mind? And most times they'll say no. So the whole thing is pointless, dude.
hmm Yeah, exactly. Man,
But
that's nuts.
it's
I
crazy.
didn't
It's
know
just,
about the dancing Israelis until today.
bro, yeah. I mean, can we pull it up, dude? Like,
I couldn't find a video or nothing.
no, I mean, there is no video about it.
Oh,
But yeah, there's a whole Fox News video about the dancing Israelis, but I think it got like, I mean, I saw it on Twitter, so I don't know how banned from the internet it could be. We'll look it
oh,
up.
dude, they got the pictures of the face and shit.
Oh, for real, dude?
Yeah.
Oh god, we're gonna get fucking murked for this, dude.
Oh no. All right. Oh. I'm
Oh, I
trying to
mean,
figure
yeah.
out what's best. Let's. Oh, okay. Okay. Probably this one, right?
I don't
This one.
know if that's them. What's that shit say?
This is who were the dancing Israelis?
Yeah, bro. We want to read the
And this is
paragraph.
on well, it's like Jewish.com, the
Oh
Jewish
god,
Chronicle.
the most unbiased news source, dude.
A tidal wave of conspiracies around the surrounding events of the day. The attacks, which saw 3,000 New Yorkers lose their lives and countless more injured years later, have been the subject of fierce speculation from conspiracy minded people all over the world. While not conspiracy theories about what happened on 9/11 are anti Semitic, there's a pervasive strain of anti Semitic thought through some of the most popular. Oh, no.
Oh god, yeah. Anti-Semitic thought. That makes a whole lot of sense. Because if you know Israel always does one thing, it's say, yeah, we did that and that was wrong.
Yeah, right.
Did you
Uh,
Google that though?
huh?
Did you Google dancing Israelis?
Yeah, and this is I figured the Jewish Chronicle would be a good one to bring up.
Yo, man, dude.
According to some sources, including a bizarre 2003 Scottish Herald article, the implication is that these 5 young men from Israel knew about the attacks beforehand and were shadowing the Al Qaeda terrorists, supporting the attack from afar in an attempt to draw America closer to politically. Shit hell.
Well, shit, dude. I mean, well, of the five dancing Israelis that were arrested, I think all but I think three of them were Mossad agents.
Oh no.
What is Mossad? It's like the Israel intelligence gathering force, dude. It's like their CIA or FBI. I'm trying to find a video on it, dude.
Oh shit. No, yeah, this is kind of nuts, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not
Hello,
even
hello,
bullshitting
Michaela.
you though,
Michaela
bro.
in the chat. That's nice.
Oh yeah.
Got a
Well, we're
chatter.
great, dude. I think I've seen her before, bro.
I feel like we've had Michaela in here before.
Well,
Yeah.
shout out to you, Michaela, the goat. I'm trying to find the Fox News video about the dancing
A
Israelis.
man who the publication did not name said that they were at work when news of the attacks first broke, and when they realized that work was canceled, drove to Union City to get a better view of what was happening. Then,
Give me a
attempting to
break.
return to their shared apartment in Brooklyn, ended up caught in a police blockade where they were arrested.
Found themselves on the roof and figured, oh, there's the Twin
This,
Towers
yeah,
in the
this whole
background.
paragraph just, I don't, if that's the sum of it, if that's the truth, none of this makes sense. It seems like there's a lot of stuff being left out here. Like,
That's
you know what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
official report, bro.
Yeah, like, man, they went to the rooftop because work was canceled. Then, when attempting to return to the apartment, they just got caught up in police and were arrested. Like,
Oh, don't you hate when that happens, man? Like, what?
oh no, they got me.
Oh shit! Like, oh,
Oh,
they
Open
knew.
Road, real quick. We got to get him on the pod, but I've been watching some of his stuff recently, and he's great podcast. He's got ayahuasca experiences, so we'll have to talk.
Okay. Shout out to
Yeah.
Open Road,
He
though, dude.
speaks Espanol too. Get Flora on.
Oh, sí, mi amigo. Yeah. Oh,
But
dude.
yeah.
Okay. I'm about to send you this tweet though, Trev.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna send it on Discord. I'm gonna put it in the chat too in case anyone else wants to see it. This is the one of parts from the old Fox News video I was saying about.
Particularly in New York, in the counterterrorism investigation of the World Trade Center attack, is that on a number of cases, suspects that they had sought to wiretap and surveil immediately changed their telecommunications processes. They started acting much differently as soon as those supposedly secret wiretaps went into place.
Federal officials this year have arrested or detained nearly 200 Israeli citizens suspected of belonging to a, quote, organized intelligence gathering operation. The Bush administration has deported most of those arrested after September 11th, although some are in custody under the new anti-terrorism law. Cameron also described an investigation into the possibility that an Israeli firm generated billing data that could be used for intelligence purposes, and described concerns that the federal government's own wiretapping system may be vulnerable.
Los Angeles, 1997.
The wiretapping is vulnerable.
Itself.
No, the fact that there's the chances of there being an insider threat
No,
are much higher than the wiretapping.
That don't happen, bro.
Sowers. The suspects, Israeli organized crime with operations in New York, Miami, Las Vegas, Canada, Israel, and Egypt. The allegations? Cocaine and ecstasy trafficking and sophisticated white-collar credit card and computer fraud. The problem, according to classified law enforcement documents obtained by Fox News, the bad guys had the cops' beepers, cell phones, even home phones under surveillance. Some who did get caught admitted to having hundreds of numbers and using them to avoid arrest. Quote, this compromised law enforcement communications between LAPD assigned law enforcement officers working various aspects of the case. The organization discovered communications between Organized Crime Intelligence Division detectives, the FBI, and the Secret Service. Shock spread from the DEA to the FBI in Washington and then the CIA. An investigation of the problem, according to law enforcement documents, concluded, quote, the organization has apparent extensive access to database systems to identify pertinent personal and biographical information.
That's a long-winded way of saying they know all your shit.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, bro. They just made a lot of words for saying they got all the information they need.
No, I just sent you the video where this report comes from, though. It talks more about pretty much the video that this is from is like a 4-part series, but the first part talks about the dancing Israelis, bro.
All right, the first part, because this is a 20-minute video.
Yeah, no. Watch the first.
16 years since a civilian working for the Navy was charged with passing secrets to Israel. Jonathan Pollard pled guilty to conspiracy to commit espionage and is serving a life sentence. At first, Israeli leaders claimed Pollard was part of a rogue operation, but later took responsibility for his work. Now, Fox News has learned some U.S. investigators believe that there are Israelis again very much engaged in spying in and on the U.S., who may have known things they didn't tell us before September 11th. Fox News correspondent Carl Cameron has details in the first of a 4-part series.
Since September 11th, more than 60 Israelis have been arrested or detained, either under the new Patriot anti-terrorism law or for immigration violations. A handful of active Israeli military were among those detained, according to investigators, who say some of the detainees also failed polygraph questions when asked about alleged surveillance activities against and in the United States. There is no indication that the Israelis were involved in the 9/11 attacks, but investigators suspect that the Israelis may have gathered intelligence about the attacks in advance and not shared it. A highly placed investigator said there are, quote, tie-ins, but when asked for details, he flatly refused to describe them, saying, quote, evidence linking these Israelis to 911 is classified. I cannot tell you about evidence that has been gathered. It's classified.
It's 911.
But not that it doesn't exist. That it's classified. Okay.
Yeah.
Learned that one group of Israelis spotted in North Carolina recently is suspected of keeping an apartment in California to spy on a group of Arabs who the United States is also investigating for links to terrorism. Numerous classified documents obtained by Fox News indicate that even prior to September 11th, as many as 140 other Israelis had been detained or arrested in a secretive and sprawling investigation into suspected espionage by Israelis in the United States. Investigators from numerous government agencies are part of a working group that's been compiling evidence since the mid-90s. These documents detail hundreds of incidents in cities and towns across the country that investigators say, quote, may well be an organized intelligence gathering activity. The first part of the investigation focuses on Israelis who say they are art students from the University of Jerusalem and Bezalel Academy. They repeatedly made contact with U.S. government personnel, the report says, by saying they wanted to sell cheap art or handiwork. Documents say they, quote, targeted and penetrated
Art
military
or
bases,
handiwork.
the DEA,
You wouldn't understand.
FBI, and
Yo.
dozens of other government facilities, and even secret offices and unlisted
The
private homes
EPA,
of
like what?
Huh?
The EPA?
law enforcement and intelligence personnel. The majority of those questioned, quote, stated they served in military intelligence, electronic surveillance intercept, and or explosive ordnance units.
Bro, come on.
I'm saying
Another part.
EOD.
Come
Give me a
on,
break.
bro. I mean,
Give me a break.
bro, that's so bad.
Of the investigation
That's-
has resulted in the
that's
detention
so
and arrests of dozens of
Almost
Israelis
fake it.
at American Mall kiosks, where they've been selling toys called Puzzle Car and Zoomcopter. Investigators suspect a front. Shortly after the New York Times and Washington Post reported the Israeli detentions last month, the carts began vanishing. Zoomcopter's webpage says, we are aware of the situation caused by thousands of mall carts being closed at the last minute. This in no way reflects the quality of the toy or its saleability. The problem lies in the operator's business policies. Why would Israelis spy in and on the U.S.? A General Accounting Office investigation referred to Israel as Country A and said, quote, according to a U.S. intelligence agency, the government of Country A conducts the most aggressive espionage operation against the U.S. of any U.S. ally. A defense intelligence report said Israel has a voracious appetite for information and, quote, the Israelis are motivated by strong survival instincts which dictate every facet of their political and economic policies. It aggressively collects military and industrial technology, and the U.S. is a high priority target. The document concludes, quote, Israel
swear.
possesses the resources and technical capability to
Come
achieve its
on.
collection objectives. A spokesman for the the Israeli embassy here in Washington
I
issued
thought
a
they talked about
categorical
the names of
denial.
the Israelis, right? But
No, I mean that's pretty tough right there. Anyways, bro.
to, to say that they have the means to collect all this shit even is bad enough.
that it could be a possibility. It's like
But
could be a possibility, bro. Like
if they have
they're doing it.
the means and the motivation to do it, like
Yeah, and like I don't blame them. We're up there and all, technology and science and all that shit,
you can't blame them. I mean, I guess
Like if I was like, well, I guess I could because they're an ally.
an ally,
Yeah.
our greatest ally.
So like anything you want to know, we could tell you. And then if we don't tell you, you just spy on us anyways. Like go on get. Like what the hell?
Like we're
that's not
paying
an ally,
them,
bro. Like if someone's spying on us, getting information, anybody who's not in our country trying to secretly gain information and not tell you is not an ally. That's a man who should be kicked out of the bar.
The fucked up part, bro, is I gotta believe if they went to the U.S. government, is like, hey, can we like do this too? The government would be like, oh yeah, fuck it, go ahead. Like if they're spying on the same Arabs that we are,
then I guess an ally who is also spying on them is, I guess, get all the forces you can.
but why do it in secret though, Trevor?
Yeah.
If your mission is only to spy on the same people that the government is spying on, why keep that a secret?
And why would the government, if they did come to them, not say we're working with the Israelis to solve this issue?
Why does it smell so much like a cover-up, dude?
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. But why exactly? Why are the Israelis so interested in them?
And what and us, bro? What we're doing?
Well, not just us. If they were spying on the Arabs, why are they spying on? Like, what is their interest to the Arabs?
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, why would they want to come together, be on our side just to spy on them? Like, they're not like, oh yeah, let's help America out and find the answers for them. Let's just do that with them. No, they find it hard to believe that Jewish people don't have an ulterior motive.
No, I think it's just them looking out for themselves, which, like, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess I can't blame them.
Yeah.
But, like,
And if we give them the green light, yeah.
They're spying on us, dude.
Yeah.
How do you have access to the wiretaps that the FBI does about anything, bro?
I don't know.
Make that make sense, dude. How do you even accomplish that? What am I going to go to FBI fucking .gov and hack their website, bro? Like, I wouldn't even know.
Did you see the? There's another video. I mean, this isn't too related. I guess I could not talk about it, but the video of there's a man testifying in court saying that he was asked by a governor if he could rig the election, and he said yes. So he came up with the software to rig the election. And then they said, is there any way someone could find out about this? Like, how could we find out if the election was rigged? And this wasn't the 2021. This was 2005.
The other ones that are okay.
Yeah. This was 2005.
One.
If they could do it in 2005, they could do it now. And they could do it way better now. But they asked, how could you know if it was rigged? And he said, the only way to know is if you did like receipts, if you did paper receipts on every vote and compared it to the actual count. That's the only way you could know.
Was that the dude that was saying like he could rig it to where it'd be like 49-51?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember reading about that.
There's just so many lies, bro. Just so many lies. Just tell us the truth, man. And that's why I like Vivek.
Yeah.
His platform is truth. Like that's his whole saying is just truth. Like that's his motto.
I'm with it if he's actually about it, bro.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you hear him talk, he's got emotion behind it. Like if he was just like standing there, blah 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 blah, or if it was like what do they call them? Pressure points. I don't really know how to call. Like if he had the same sayings for everything, but if you go to any of his interviews, he talks pretty differently in every single one. Like if he's trying to get the same point across, he uses different language in each one. So he's not just giving these 5 words like the fucking CNN. He's not giving the 5 words CNN has to just say over and over again.
It's a threat to democracy. Yeah, they got the same.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
They're like catchphrases almost.
Yeah, the same exact phrases over and over again. Where if you watch CNN, MSNBC, and all of them, they will all be saying the same thing. I'm sure you've seen the collages, like where they're all saying the same thing about COVID. They're not. He's not given it. He can actually articulate his thoughts, and you saw it in the debate too.
I mean, you could see what they're saying about 9/11. Everyone said the same thing.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating to me is not really what they said, but what they didn't say. Like a lie by omission.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, the Saudi Arabians might have been the ones who planned it and paid the people, right? But if they're just completely omitting the fact that Israel knew about it,
why?
Like no one's going to bring that up.
And here's another thing. At what point do we say, like, all right, these people got to go to jail? You know? Like the people in Congress doing so, like fucking Nancy Pelosi, for instance. Insider trading. At what point do we say, all right, that's enough? You're not above the law. You have to go to jail. Like we have to bring the people serving us back down to our level. People see them as like the heroes and all that stuff. Like, what is? I can't even think of the word.
They're like untouchable.
Yeah, like we think they're not on the same level as us, and that imposter syndrome. Like, what? Like I can't do that. Everybody has to realize we can all be one of them. We could all go run. We could all go be one of them. They are no better than us.
But that's the problem with the deep state is like, in a way, they are better because they can fucking do all this crap and not get arrested.
Yeah. At Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
But at what point do we say, all right, that's enough. You have to get arrested. Like the fucking lady in New Mexico
Oh yeah.
tried to take away
Well, that's
using a decree.
the thing. The last time people tried to fucking, you know, uprise, I guess you could say, and do anything like that sort, it was January 6th, and look what happened to all them.
Yeah, you seen them videos surfacing of them arresting the couple dudes?
They're
What
arresting
is it,
old
a
ladies,
year
bro.
and another dude. Fuck, what was
Throwing
it?
him in jail without trial, bro.
Yeah,
Like that, I think is the big issue right now. Is the regime in America, the occupying regime, is simply just too powerful.
yeah. And how do you take it down?
They have unlimited money, bro. They got the whole intelligence community. And it's not like, I mean, I don't think there's just some giant global cabal. Like I don't think they have sit down meetings like they're mob bosses, right?
Yeah.
But when interests converge,
Yeah, and that's another thing. How long has the United States been rigging other countries' elections? It's not like we ain't done this shit before.
If they don't let us, we'll just take out their leader. Look what we did to Gaddafi, bro.
Yeah. Like this
Oh
ain't the
my
first
God.
time we've been doing this shit, dude. The United States have been doing this to other countries for a long time. So how naive do you have to believe, or do you have to be to believe they're not doing it here on U.S. soil?
Bro.
And then what is the solution? That's a lot of things. Like that's why I want to ask, is because that's what everybody thinks. It's like there's got to be a way to stop this. There's got to be something we can do. But for the average American, is there really anything we can do? That's the problem. Is everyone feels so powerless. What can we actually do unless we organize? And then when you organize, you get people like the Proud Boys that end up getting taken to jail.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are ways I think we can do stuff. You
Go
know,
ahead.
okay, fine. Drop a vice, become a step closer to sustainability by yourself. Get a little healthier. Get a skill that's going to help you garden or become self-sustainable. Find like-minded people too. Maybe, you know, become harder to kill, I will say.
Yeah.
Pretty much you want to strip your reliance on the government about anything. That I think we can do. But also, what we can do is register people to vote, knock on doors. That's not glamorous. It's not going to overthrow the government, and it's not going to happen in a day. But there are things that we can do to simply inspire like a populist uprising. It just won't happen overnight.
Well, the problem is trying to do that. Everybody's so scared. Like, I don't want to go talk to another person now. Dude, the amount of people that just put their head down at work and don't say anything,
Yeah.
like not just coworkers, like my coworkers, I think I'm the only one in that store along with my father that says hi to people and like, how are you doing? To the shoppers. Like no one wants to converse with the other person at all, no matter what the views are. No one wants to talk to another person. Everybody's in their own zone. Everybody's so focused on themselves. But like you said, if you're focused on yourself and you're becoming harder to kill, that's one thing. But if you're so focused on yourself because everything else sucks and you're not doing anything about it, that's a completely different story. You're falling into the sheep aspect and you end up dying. You end up under the government's arm.
Well, yeah, but it's why are people like that? Like why are they so
Because
they don't
if
want to talk
anything,
to people?
if anything happened, like good example is the that Marine that choked that dude out on the subway.
Oh, yeah.
Like you get involved into something that's not your business for that because it's for the greater good of the people around you.
Sure.
You get involved and then you get taken to jail.
Mm-hmm.
That no one wants to get involved with anyone else's business because if something goes wrong, they get taken to jail for someone else's bullshit.
Well, yeah, but like that. Think of all the times that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus how many times you could talk to someone about politics at Home Depot. I think the problem why people just don't talk to people just out in Home Depot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people see what happens if they're openly supportive of Trump, and they say,
Right.
they're going to get called an evil, fucking racist, bigot, all this shit in the books, right? And that's why they're afraid to actually voice their opinions. But what we can do is show them, like, no, you don't have to be afraid to hide who you are anymore.
Right.
Like, come out in a different, like, in a sort of way, dude. Like, I used to be afraid to tell my family that I was, a supporter of Trump. Then I thought, fuck this, dude.
Yeah, so I'm actually struggling with Christianity and religion. Because
Yeah.
I was one of them that was like, oh, here's another religious dude. Like, oh, get out of my face. So it's hard for me to like just go around speaking the gospel, because I don't know why. I feel like I'm just going to get judged. But it does bring it back to what I was saying earlier. Like, oh shit, I lost it. Oh no.
No, but what you can do is listen. Like, you might not express any of your own beliefs, right? But you can listen. Like, everyone has some shit to say.
Yeah.
But I think once people as a collective realize, I don't have to be in the closet about supporting Trump anymore.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Bringing it back to earlier. Bro, how did I lose it again?
It happens, bro.
Dude, over and over again. It's this Mountain Dew.
It's the Mountain Dew, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm sure
you reminded me of it, and then I lost it again. So
what the fuck did I
sorry.
say? Here I go forgetting what I just said, bro.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Do you think they're doing that on purpose? Like, do you think, I guess I would say like the people leading the charge know what they're doing. And then they have these interviewers or people working wherever slander Trump supporters or slander Trump on purpose. But do you think the people slandering know the slippery slope they're going down? Because I would have to believe that they don't, because if they did, they would look at North Korea and be like, that's where we're heading. You know what I'm saying?
North Korea is great for the leader, dude. Of course
That's
they
what I'm
know.
saying. So like the top however many people sitting around the table saying, let's get everyone to hate Trump. Everyone's on that. Everyone jumps on that page because, of course, everybody wants someone to hate, of course, in this world. But I don't think the pawns that they're using understand where this is all heading.
Not necessarily the pawns, but like the ruling elite are not stupid. They know what they're doing.
Right.
They've been doing this since fucking forever. It's just they see Trump as such a threat to the status quo that they're willing to do whatever to his fans. I mean, look at how many times they indicted him. What's he facing? Like 1,000 years in jail? Gets convicted on everything. Like, homie's almost 80, bro. Like, it's so much. But it's I think at the point where people will say, yeah, this is a bit much.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they really understand the repercussions to what they're doing. Like, this is quite literally, if I can't speak the truth, if I can't tell you what I think without being harassed or beaten up or put in jail, that's where North Korea is. If you don't believe in what we believe in, fuck you, you're dead.
That's exactly right. Their concern is not the truth, Trevor. Their only concern is staying in power.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Is they're not like, we think other people have the same thought process as we do. Their thought process is not how can I expose the truth. It is only how can I stay in power.
Yeah. But then bringing it back again, bro.
Bring it back, dude.
At what point in time do we say, all right, this is enough? You have to go to jail, or you have to, like, this is overuse of power. You need to go to jail. You need to be locked up. Because even after all this stuff and the truth comes out, I guarantee you they just don't get elected into their office, and then they go live their lives happily ever after with all the money that they've made off of this. And they're good to go.
I say the time is nigh for that, dude. Because what they're banking on, dude, is us as a country being so demoralized and thinking
Right.
nothing we can do is going to change this. We ought to just fall in line or we're going to get thrown in jail.
Exactly.
What the ruling class want is for us to be so black-pilled, we just don't give a shit, don't care, and let them run and do whatever they want, bro. They want us to feel powerless. And that's my whole point is we can take back our power. We just have to go about it in a good way.
Right.
Like storming the Capitol is not a good way to go about it. It's horrible optics and it's a losing message. What works is you being open about your shit, talking to people and getting them outwardly spoken about what they believe.
Right.
Because it's
Yeah.
it's when people are silent because they think that they're going to get in trouble or shamed for supporting Trump. It's like most people would buy into what he's saying, dude. It's just the media is so effective at slandering the man.
Yeah. And so I was first time I ever watched Dennis Prager. I seen him a little bit I was watching Jordan Peterson's biblical series. I think it's on Exodus now. This dude, I think it's just an unbelievable thing that he's done. He's taken 6 highly intelligent people, wisdom all across the board, put them at a table, and then they just go through Exodus. And Dennis Prager is one of them. And for some reason, Patrick McDavid's podcast with him from 5 years ago came up on my algorithm. I ended up watching it, and then I ended up at Prager's website. And this lady asked him, like, I'm in Florida, I'm going through college, I'm conservative, I'm a Christian. How do I talk about abortion without being slandered, without everyone, like without my teachers even giving me an F just because I'm talking about abortion? And he said, when you sit down with whoever it is or whenever you go into a conversation with somebody, say, I'm not even talking about the law. I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking rationally, like just logically speaking. So I guess that's what I'd advise. Like if I'm going into a conversation with somebody who's saying at 12 weeks you can abort it, whatever it is. Okay, do you believe this is a person? Do you believe, because we understand that it's not the woman's body. Everybody understands that because we ask, how's the baby? We don't ask, how are you when they're pregnant. We ask, how's the baby?
Yeah.
It's never, how are you? Because we understand it's not part of her body. It is in her body. And you just slowly ask, like, does it make sense for the mom to kill it at, let's say, 16 weeks? And they say no. And you say, why? Well, because then it's finally forming or whatever. Okay. So now you understand that this is another human. Does it have rights? Do you believe this human has rights?
Uh-huh.
And you go down that rabbit hole. Well, no, I don't believe it has rights. Well, you just said it's a living thing. Does it have rights then? If it's a living thing, because it's growing, we all know it grows, that means it has to be alive. Do you believe it has rights? And if they say no to that, I mean, you're kind of lost. Like,
Where do you go?
Yeah, like that person's just stupid. But it's arguing rationally instead of about politics or about government or about law, whatever it is. You just break it down into, okay, logically speaking, does this make any fucking sense? That's why you could break down, and it's not a conspiracy with this 9/11 stuff, because if you just break it down logically like we just did, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, what's the other thing? When the plane crashed into the Pentagon, you're telling me it crashed right into where all the papers were held, where all the money's held. Like, to me, it just doesn't add up. With the JFK stuff, you're telling me the guy holding the camera, like you're saying, logically, anybody who sees the president's shot's gonna freak the hell out
and heard a gunshot, bro. They're
Like,
loud as shit. Like,
yeah, no, when I'm shooting it without ear pro, I'm flinching every time. Like,
you can
it's
feel
been a big
it,
thing
dude.
with me, even like growing up. I noticed this, but like playing bass too loud in my ears, I blink because I flinch to the bass.
Yeah.
But you don't flinch even a little bit. That doesn't make sense.
No.
Because it's human nature to flinch. The only way you don't flinch is if you know. Like, it just break it down logically. It doesn't make sense.
And I think too, like, people are just not logical, and I think that's where we can really capitalize, right? Is people are told in the media that Trump supporters are the scum of the earth, right? We
Mhm.
could not be worse people if we tried.
A Nazi, bro.
We went to the school of Satanism with the curriculum written by Hitler, right?
Yeah.
But
With
what we
what?
can do is say, this is what it's the same thing we do with vets, bro. This is what a Trump supporter looks like. This is what a vet looks like. We're nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not these giant evil hateful people.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
yeah, that's a huge thing. Is I've been like individualism. We are all one individual, and you have to think about all the stuff you go through a day.
yeah,
Like wake up, shower, brush my teeth, everything on an individual level that just affects me, my mind, everything. You have to think that that is how all these other people are going about their lives too. Like you're not special. Like what you're doing daily is not special. This is what everyone is doing. We're all individuals. Like it is, and to believe that an individual is just so evil off the bat just because of their supporter or because of who they're supporting is kind of outlandish, if you ask me.
it's outlandish, bro, but people fall for it
Yeah. Why do people fall for it?
because people are emotional, bro.
Yep.
You if all you see on the news every single day is how much these people suck, like it's not the truth. It's just repeated. So it's a lie repeated so often, people just believe it because there is no opposition to that. Like, okay, if you're only watching MSNBC and believing all the shit that they say, there is no counterfactual to that. You're not watching a Steven Crowder video or a
Yeah.
Styx Hexenhammer video showing you or talking about why that's all nonsense. The very fine people thing, right? Which I'm saying Nazis are very fine people. They played that clip for years straight. But the fucking 15 seconds after he says, except for the white supremacists who should be condemned totally, you wouldn't even know that that existed
Yeah.
unless you made an attempt to seek that out.
Yeah.
It's
People are fucking emotional.
it's they are very affected by people are very affected by emotion, and the media is very good at exploiting that, right? And for people like us, the average person, we can't go up to CNN and just turn the ship in the other direction, dude.
Right.
But what we can do is find people where they're just naturally at. Like if you're at the Home Depot, you're not you're probably in a similar situation, like financially. Like you working
Mhm.
there, me shopping there, we're probably from the same neighborhood. Like we both live in the
Right.
same place, probably. Like we have a lot more in common than we do apart. And what we can do is show people, look, dude, the real divide is not us. We shouldn't be divided. The division is with the rich people, the super rich, and everyone else. And by showing them, look, bro, like I like Trump, and you can see I'm not an evil guy. Like
Yeah.
that, I think is going to change
You
more minds.
Yeah, do you think everybody always says I hate the day 9/11, but I'd give everything for a 9/12. We always hear that.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a similar thing going on with post Bovid? You know what I'm saying? Do you think
Like
there's a
is
correlation? Like, do you think post Bovid, everybody's coming together because they realize this, like we're all fed up? Or do you think we're just kind of carrying on?
I think that you have two groups, maybe three, but two main factions of the post Bovid world. On one side, you have the mass formation psychosis where everyone is still buying into deathly afraid. And then the other side, which I think most people are on, is just this is just too much right now, dude. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, which I think is most people. That I think is kind of a hunt the good stuff moment with that whole thing is people are starting to be aware of how much the government lies to them.
Yeah. I think well that's what I'm saying is I mean out of everything there's something good that comes out of it. and
Yeah.
as horrible as COVID was, but it also still divided us a little bit more. But because you're right, the people that are fed up with it, I I believe that they have empathy towards the people that are still caught in it. So like when I see a person wearing a
Sure.
mask,
Sure.
I'm not like you're a piece of shit Nazi,
Oh, I'm the fucking opposite, bro.
but
But yeah,
because I could see in this goes for the same thing with my divorce. I could see where it all come from. I could see how you could have fallen into this trap, and I could see how you're still getting fooled. I can understand it, but to them, they can't understand how we're out of it because there's a certain amount of wisdom you need and a certain amount of intelligence you need for that. So, I mean, we kind of, I'm sure you do it too. Like people wearing a mask, we're like, all right, you're pretty dumb,
yes,
right?
I
Like you're
did.
dumb.
Now I say they deserve nothing but endless ridicule. If you see someone wearing a mask, laugh at them. Make them feel uncomfortable. They did not afford us the privilege of
Yeah,
saying, I can see why you wouldn't wear a mask. They did
right.
not give a shit about us when that happened, bro. If they're never gonna the right does this all the time, it drives me nuts. Someone
Yeah.
on the left will make an opinion that's logical, and they'll say, "Oh, that's a good opinion coming from the left." When has the left ever say, I don't agree with the right, but that's a good opinion? They don't. They don't give us the same fucking courtesy, bro.
Yeah.
They're never gonna say, "Oh, yeah, he was wearing a mask or he wasn't wearing a mask. I could see why he'd do that. Maybe he has an asthma or something." They did not give us an ounce of that same courtesy, bro.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone. If you see someone wearing a mask or taking COVID seriously, mock them. Make them feel shamed. They deserve it. They did nothing but make us feel that way for
Yeah.
fucking
If
years.
you
bro.
did it, yeah, that's a good point. If you didn't wear a mask, you were the worst person in that area. If you weren't
I,
wearing a mask, you may as well have been
bro,
Hitler.
I was in the Denver airport coming home from Christmas one year, and in the Denver airport, there's like these subway trains that take it between the terminals, and you only had to wear a mask on the plane. I knew that was the law, but all of the signs said you had to wear one everywhere. And it's Denver, so there's a lot of liberals there. And I'll never forget, bro. I was on the like on the train, not wearing a mask, and this lady was looking at me like I'm like you would think I was Hitler standing there, bro. Like she was looking at me with just such disgust,
Yeah.
anger, contempt. Like if she had a way to kill me and not like lawfully, bro, she would do it in no time at all. They they did not give us any sympathy or empathy at all when we weren't wearing masks. Do not give them the same back. That's why we lose, bro.
Yeah. I agree. But I don't know, it's hard because like I said, we're good people. That's the problem. Is like we're good people. I'm not a Nazi because I support Trump, but you are kind of a Nazi if you support Bovin.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard because we're good people, but the good people are going to get ran over 9 times out of 10. And no matter what the scenario is, if you're trying to be a good person, if you're a good person in a marriage, if you're just trying to be a good person, you're going to get ran over.
I'm saying I would think you're a better person if you stood up for what you believed
Right.
in, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, what have I told you though? Like, good guys getting stepped on is how bad guys are made.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't realize they're making a shit ton of bad guys. Like, do you think 5 years ago I would have said, about masks like that? Like, just fucking laugh at people that are,
Yeah.
scared of
Right.
getting sick? Absolutely not. But welcome to the shitstorm they created, dude. It wasn't me that looked at me like I'm Hitler for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't shamed for, I was shamed for not wearing a mask. Why would we not give that right back to them, bro?
Yeah. I agree. Do you
That-
do you think there's almost a civil war going on already?
Like a quiet civil war.
Yeah, I would say it's mental.
Maybe, I guess. Like, I hate that we're there, but it's no one but the rich elite and the retarded liberals that follow them that cause that problem.
I wouldn't say liberals,
What would you say?
leftists. Because liberals, they make sense. Like liberals, is another thing. Like this really blew my mind when Prager broke it down. Liberals don't believe that there should be like a black college or a black national anthem or a black whatever. They don't see race. Like they don't believe in that. Leftists do. And that is a huge distinction to make. Like that is a completely change of ideology. So
Yeah.
to pair the liberals with them is almost not fair because the liberals still believe in like rational, logical thinking.
How
The
many of
leftists are
them?
more.
How many liberals can you name, bro? That's
I
my
would say
thing.
Joe Rogan's a liberal.
Joe Rogan, my father. Okay, two people, bro. Like those are not the overwhelming majority of people voting for these restrictions.
Yeah,
Like you may
that's
be
what I'm saying. That's why they're leftists.
yeah, okay. But like I mean, to me, if you vote for this shit, you're in the same group.
Yeah.
Like that's the hard part is I think there are more liberal minded people. But if you're in lockstep with the hard leftists, you know,
I would say a good liberal is Jason.
yeah, I
Jason, yeah.
say so too.
Yeah, he's not left. The leftist is completely different than what Jason is. Jason, like, we we do sit down and are able to have a conversation, sit down, talk, and he could disagree on us with religion. I could disagree with him on anything he says.
Sure.
But the connection that we have because we're both still good people supersedes that.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
A
saying
leftist
is,
does
yeah,
not care if you talk to them and they say whatever and you say I disagree. That's the end of the conversation. There is no longer a conversation. It turns into fuck you, I hate you, leave me alone, don't ever talk to me again. That's the, you know what I'm saying? That's the
I'm
difference.
saying there is a distinction, but I think there's vastly more leftists that are
Yeah.
voting for
Oh
these
no.
things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the problem we're having is the poor liberal. Like I would be pissed if I was a liberal.
Oh, I would be too, bro.
I
How
would
many
be
of them
I would
feel
be livid.
swindled by Joe Biden right now? I mean, oh,
Oh my god.
how many times I got to go on Twitter and see some person in a Democrat city get their head smashed in by some criminal, only to go on their Twitter page and they are nothing but Democrat supporters, bro.
Yeah. No, I was watching a lady on somebody was breaking it down. It was a lady on TikTok who lives in San Fran and got spit on, and she was crying about it because she was just walking out of the grocery store and a homeless person spit on her. And she was crying about it. And like, where does it stop? Where does it end? And you go look back like which way she voted, and she voted all left.
And,
You're
and
like,
bro, what am I supposed to feel sympathy for her?
no.
No, I'm not. Even if I'm probably supposed to. I would have 5 years ago. But now, bro, you vote for these things. People people vote for this shit to happen. They want it to happen. They don't want to get spit on, but they're voting for this shit at the ballot box. And it's like I I hate to say it, but good. I hope it happens every single time you go to work, bro.
Yeah.
I hope it happens until you realize the hurt that you're causing yourself, dude.
Oh my god.
Look at I'm sorry, bro, to get passionate. Look at New York though, bro. They're like, oh, we're a sanctuary city. They vote like 80% Democrat in New York City until it shows up at their door. And now there's too many of them to even fucking house. Like these people vote for things that aren't in their interest and then get upset when they get called out on it or they
See, this is why I want to go into psychology because how can you vote for that and then not understand where it leads? Like, how could you vote for that and then when you do get spit on in the face, how could you not understand that this is what you voted for? You know what I'm saying? Like, how could it? Yeah, a good example is the black population, and I think that's turning because of the Trump thing. They're now saying like they love Trump more than anything now because he's getting indicted for shit that's bullshit, and they're like, that's what's been happening to us for years and years and years and years, like decades now.
Most of the black people I know fuck with him, dude. Like,
And that's what I'm saying. So it used to be them voting 90% Democrat, 90%, if it wasn't 95, blue.
More than that.
Yeah, blue. And how could you run around and say, like, I'm upset about this and not understand that this is what you're doing to yourself? Like, how do those two wires not connect? To me, it makes sense. Like, this is what I vote for. Boom. Like, I'm in Florida. This place is amazing. There's some things where I'm like, but this is what I vote for. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Where it's like,
it's
but I gave this up to get this.
it's because people are so emotional, bro. Look at us. Our whole lives, we grew up thinking America was just this bastion of excellence.
Mhm.
We were the good guys, right? But it wasn't until we saw so much evidence to the contrary that we were willing to change our opinion on that, right?
Yeah.
That I think is what it's going to take because I mean at the end of the day it's so emotional.
But that's
If it
such a slippery slope too. Like if you need that, it's gonna end up like the Russian gulags for them to realize, like, oh fuck, this is where we're at.
I mean
You know what I'm saying?
getting spit in the face isn't fucking enough for some people, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
but like fuck, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
Get spat on a few more times. Maybe that'll change. Like
Yeah. Fucking sucks, dude. Like,
it sucks, man, but
and it's I think it's just because we're not well versed on the history. Like it didn't take us so long. It took us so long to realize America wasn't the good guys because in school they teach America is the good guys.
sure.
And that's all we learn all growing up is America is the good guys. We're the greatest country on earth. And I would still say that. That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
like we're going through all this bullshit, but I would still tell my kids this is the greatest country on earth. So they're being raised with the idea that this is the greatest country on earth and nothing can beat it.
What
That's the problem. Like, how do you teach the kid like this is the greatest, but at the same time,
all we can really do is look at ways that we've changed our opinions and think, how can we just reverse engineer that?
yeah.
Like I'm not going to name them, but there is a group that I'm not very fond of right now. Growing up, I was told and taught how they were picked on for no reason. They haven't done anything wrong. Everyone
for
just
no reason.
murdered, genocide. Everyone just woke up, expelled from country. Everyone just woke up and thought, oh, how can I fuck with someone today? Oh, eeny, meeny, miny, you. And, and it's so bad that, you're even uncomfortable to criticize these people. You know who I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh, no, I knew right away.
But when, at what point did I say, man, maybe there is some behind this? It wasn't until I saw all this evidence that was on the side of it was so much shit. It was like, okay, how can I have this old opinion that I had?
Yeah, they wouldn't make sense. That's the
It's-
thing. I think just reason has to take over at some point. At what point does reason take over for the emotional? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you almost have to bypass the emotion with such an overwhelming amount of reason that it's
Yeah.
simply inignorable.
And that's cutting it back to Prager. That's what he's saying. All life is the battle between the brain and the mind.
Exactly.
And I thought that was unbelievable.
Bro, spot on, dude.
Yeah, like all life is like the example he gave was if I'm going to get cheesecake, but I'm 300 pounds and have diabetes, my brain wants to get cheesecake, but my mind says, all right, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because the brain beats the mind.
Yes.
At some point, that's the problem is we need everyone to be educated. That's like we need them to be smart enough to realize that pretty much.
Yes. And
that's the biggest and that's what we do here. That's why we talk here and on our podcast is like we need to lay it. That's what I learned from getting out of the army. That's what I learned through going through depression. That's just the brain telling my mind what to do. That's letting the brain take over for my mind. How can my it's going to happen. How can my brain not be like, oh, this fucking blows. I'm divorced. I got kicked out of the army. Like this sucks. Emotionally, that's logical to think. Like it makes sense to think that.
I mean, hell, I thought that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So you have to have the mind to take over the brain, and the mind to say it to break it down so simplistic. You brush your teeth every morning. Not a single person wants to go brush their teeth. No one wakes up and is like, "Oh, I want to go brush my teeth." No.
Yeah. Thank God you're.
Yeah.
Brush my teeth.
No. But you tell yourself, "No, I have to brush my teeth because I'll be gross if I don't." It's the same thing. You have to take over with your own mind. And that's the problem. When you don't have a mind, you run around mindlessly because the government takes care of everything and you're good to go. That's what happens in World War II. That's what happens in Russia, USSR. in Germany. That's what happens. We'll take care of everything else. Just listen to what we say. Don't worry about anything.
That's, I guess, the kind of hunt the good stuff. Silver lining about this whole thing is people. I mean, it'd be great if everyone voted logically, but that's just not going to happen, right? But people vote emotionally, and it bites them in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's gotten to a point where it's becoming so bad. People are finally starting to realize, bro.
Like, I can't buy gas. This sucks.
You know, they got an app in Los Angeles where it'll show you where the shit is on the street.
What the fuck?
Not dog shit, bro. I'm talking human waste on
Real
the ground
human species.
because it's such a problem. It's like, okay, I get it. You may think Republicans are a bunch of evil racists, right? But if you're stepping in human waste every time you walk to this store, and then when you get there, you got to get the clerk because everything's behind a counter. You get robbed on the way home.
The fuck up.
You know, you buy something from someone that's got fentanyl in it. These problems are kind of self-correcting in a way.
Yeah. No, dude, it feels so bad. Like this. That's why I want to like do shit and affect people on such a mass scale. Because even at Home Depot, bro, when they have to get anything over, I think it's like $50. Anything over $50, we chain up. We lock up.
Chain it up, Trevor.
We lock it up, and then when someone buys like a lawnmower or a whatever's leaf blower, a chainsaw, anything, I have to unlock it, give them one, and then take it up there with them. And the whole time I'm like, dude, this is like, I feel bad for doing it. Like, I feel like this is ridiculous. Like they're making me do this. Like the people, like it almost feels like I don't trust them. That's what it feels like. But in reality, it's separating me from them because I don't want them to think that I don't trust them, that I don't think they're a good human. But this is where we're at. Like the one thing Home Depot showed me is how much crime truly went up due to COVID and due to the new president.
Oh, yeah.
Crime shot through the fucking roof. Home Depot was losing millions. Not just thousands. They're losing millions of dollars because people were just taking it. And people will come in, cut the lawnmower box, take the battery, and leave.
That's what they know about too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, try and go to the bathroom in downtown Tampa or in Nashville. You get treated like a criminal for trying to go to the bathroom.
What do you mean?
You have to fucking buy something from this store so they have your information. You have to get the lock, you know, or the key.
Yeah, like at a gas station, go get the key.
Why did they do that? Because we've allowed these people to shoot up fucking heroin in there and overdose and kill themselves for so long.
Yeah.
Like these issues they're so pervasive, but they're so in your face that I think it's gonna have to get worse before it gets better. Just because people are so emotional that they're going to have to say, this is so bad. You can't walk your kids anywhere, bro. You don't see any kids. I don't see anyone playing outside anymore. I'm saying, bro, you can't fucking go walk down San Francisco or take the subway at night without getting fucking pushed on the tracks, beat up, mugged, and then what, for the cops to show up and say, oh, yeah, well, that happens. What are you going to do? Yeah, no, I got a good question for you, but I got to go to the bathroom. Yeah, pause that. I got to go too. Hold on. I'm about to play a little background music. Yeah, we'll be back in a sec.
Yeah. All right.
Yo.
I fuck with that music. So we talk about one of the big things that woke my mind up is when you told me, Trevor, you need to relax because if you think about the general IQ of America, you're above that. But you have to know that there's also it's an average, so there's people below it too, and there may be people below it by a lot. There may be people below or above it by a lot. Do you think America is generally smart enough to recognize this, to recognize all of this? Do you think America will at some point be like, all right, this is enough? Because it's steady declining too, the general IQ. Like it was 120 years ago, and now it's at like 95.
Are we smart enough to recognize how bad things are?
Right.
I think
Because
yes.
that's emotional.
Yeah, no, I think 100% we are, because you take the lowest IQ person, right? They're gonna get more pissed off when shit has just become so bad in a lot of areas that I think it is impossible for the people in any part of the IQ curve to ignore. You don't have to be Albert Einstein to realize that you have 5 addicts overdosing in front of your apartment.
Right. But do you think they'll be smart enough to know what to do about it? Like they got to realize, like that's what I'm saying is the people that are voting left don't realize that this is what the left is causing.
I don't do I think they're going to be smart enough to realize what the other option is?
You get spit in the face, and then not even the other option. You get spit in the face, and you don't realize, this is because of me.
I don't think so, unless people tell them, like tough love in a way.
Yeah.
Also, I think that's where we have this kind of ground, like conversation that really makes an impact with people, right? Like, think about it like this. If you were in downtown Manhattan working at the Target down there, right? And I'm a dummy. I'm coming in like, oh, this shit is so whack, bro. Nothing's fucking happening. This shit sucks. Fat camel dick. But I don't know what to do. And if I remember that I talked to you about it, and I saw, oh, well, fuck, that guy was telling me about Trump. Maybe he's onto something. Like, you don't know anything about anyone else. All I know is that I had a conversation with you, a Trump supporter, and it was pleasant. That I think is, I mean, what else? What else are you going to do? What else can you do?
Yeah, that I will say, yeah. So here's a good example of it. When I didn't know what to do about religion, all I remembered was you saying God is good.
Exactly.
I wasn't smart enough to realize religion may solve my problems. But when shit got so bad and I realized I needed to change something, I could think back to the times, oh, wait, Kevin always said God is good, or thank the Lord, or whatever it may be. Maybe I should look into this. I think you're right. I think you're onto something.
I think maybe because I didn't even say which God.
No, you didn't say anything. You just
I could have been talking about the Hindu God, bro.
Fucking Poseidon, the Greek gods, or some shit.
Whatever. It don't matter, bro. All that,
So you
all
leave that up to their interpretation.
Yes, and you don't have to be some outspoken Trump guy, but just to even expose them to the other options that exist, a lot of people just vote the way that they do instinctively because that's how they're raised. Like, I can't blame them for that. But just to, I guess, plant the seed in their mind that there are other options out there. Excuse me. And it doesn't have to be like this. I mean, I think that's all we can really do, bro. I'd love to just throw out a pill to where everyone would,
become smarter.
Oh, yeah. But, like, that's not going to happen, man.
It ain't the COVID shot.
No, hell no. That's what they should do. Give everyone smart juice instead of that COVID shot.
Mandate a smart juice, dude.
Yo, yeah. Pray to God, but no.
Because that's what I'm saying is, like, the people that you see with a mask and all that, my first thought is like, dude, you got to be dumb.
Yes.
But then my empathy plays in. I'm like, all right, well, maybe they have some medical situation to where they got to wear this, and I'm not going to be mean for no reason. Because it's a precaution. And how could I get mad at someone for being cautious? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because they hated you for the same thing.
yeah,
The people that I'm talking about, like exposing them to our beliefs, right? Those aren't the hard line. You got to wear a mask, 3 of them everywhere.
yeah,
I think we
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
we have to be willing to say that there's a certain part of that population that is just not going to get changed no matter what.
The extremist.
The extremists, bro. That's who I mean we should mock, right? But
Mhm.
that is not the majority of people that vote blue.
Yeah,
know.
that's true. Yeah, no, and that's the problem too. Is we're catering to 2%, 1% of the population.
Yeah, yeah. And like that's where these conversations really help, is because you're not, odds are, going to run into someone from the far left faction. It's going to be some dude that's been voting Democrat his whole life because that's all he knows. That I think there's a
Can
lot.
I do that? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go
but
ahead.
Can I do that at work? Because this is where a lot of I don't go to the grocery store. Like if I do go to the grocery store and see someone wearing the mask, I don't give a shit because I'm going to get my food. But when I'm chilling at work and have nothing better to do, how do I do that at work and not get fired? You know what I'm saying? Like
Take a long time. You act incompetent. You
Mm.
do it in other ways, bro. You're not going to say, "Oh, you have a mask? Fuck yourself." You say, "Oh, what? You need Oh, okay, I'll go look for it." You grab them the wrong thing, bro. That's what you do.
Yeah, because even if I'm trying to think of like even how to start the conversation. Like, why are you wearing the mask? That's pretty. Because to me, that's pretty like aggressive almost.
I wouldn't do that. Make them wonder, bro.
Wonder what?
Wonder why everywhere I go, people are treating me with such contempt. I can't get good help anywhere I go. Why?
Uh-huh.
Fuck them, dude. Make their heads hurt. I have no sympathy at all for these people, bro. They treated us like the scum of the earth for years for not wearing a mask, bro. They deserve no sympathy. Don't help them. They want a lawnmower? Grab them a fridge. Oh, my bad. I misheard you. Bro, we were in the army. We could fuck with that, dude. Like the malicious compliance.
Yeah.
I'll act like an idiot. Fuck you. Who cares, bro? Because Trevor, in the opposite situation, they would do the same thing to you, if not worse.
Yeah.
They would throw you out. Look at the comparison. They wouldn't even let you into the store. At least they're in there. But do everything you can
To make it miserable.
Just make it hard, bro. Go in the back and take a while. Refer them to an employee that you know is not the best.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
I'm saying I can think of 1,000 different ways to mess with these people, bro. But
because that's my thing is that, and that's what we're saying is we're not bad people. Like Trump supporters, they're not bad people, but they're turning a leaf to where they're, like you said, good people getting stepped on is where how bad people are made, and they're becoming bad people. I'm not a bad person. I don't want to make anyone's life more difficult. And if you make my life more difficult, I'm able to live with it because that's how I've been raised. That's who I am. Like I'm able to live with it. So it doesn't, in this grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But this is becoming an issue. So you have to become not a bad person, but handle it poorly for them to realize. Like you said, like if I'm going out of the grocery store and getting spit on every time, that's a shitty thing. I don't want to spit on anyone. I won't spit on anyone because that's just kind of fucked. But if it happens over and over and over and over again, where I'm going, and that's exactly like what you're saying, I'm going to get gas, I'm going into a shop, I'm going everywhere without a mask on, and I'm constantly being told, fuck you, no, you can't come in, whatever it is. And finally, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should wear a mask just so I can get treated, just so I can have a better time in life. At some point, they're like, all right, maybe it's the fucking mask, because I'm not saying anything to these people. I'm just asking for a lawnmower and I'm getting a fucking refrigerator. What's going on? It can't be what I'm saying. It's got to be how I look, or like they're getting almost like a preconceived notion not to help me in the right way.
Even if they never figure it out, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
They can wonder until their dying days why no one helped them when they wore a mask, bro.
Yeah.
Good. I would argue that it would be it would make you a bad person to say, oh, these people trampled on my rights. They made it. I couldn't even say goodbye to my parents when they were dying in the hospital. And then to let that person in and just
Yeah, bro. No graduations, no weddings,
bro,
no church, no church.
I could get arrested for going to church, but I could riot on the streets, bro. And you mean to tell me I'm a good person if I just let bygones be bygones and accept them now, knowing full well that the next pandemic they're gonna do the same thing to me?
Yeah.
Bro, again? No, you got to be out of your damn mind, dude. I just that's how we got into this situation where all of our power is subverted as a country. Is because we
and
have
if you
this.
look in the past, that's exactly what happened in like Russia and everything. Like no one put up a fight, no one did anything because it's the government. I'm good. I'm not going to say anything.
Like
But then
we
you
have
end up
this,
in a fucking prison camp.
we have this mentality of I just want to be left alone, right?
Right.
That works. Other people do not want to leave you alone though, and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It only works if everyone does it. But there are people whose thirst for power is so insatiable that they want to control what you put in your body, what you wear, where you go, everything about you. I cannot make peace with that kind of evil, bro.
Yeah, and that's like the next step I need to take if I'm being honest. Like and I mean, you look at Jordan Peterson, that's what he had to do too. And that's why he got a lot of hate. And that's what's scary is when you start doing this, you're going to get even more hated upon. But when Bill C-16 came out and he finally had to speak up because they're infringing on his freedom of speech, like he had to become more malicious. You have to start, like you said, malicious compliance. You have to become more upset with the things going on to where people know. And that's my problem is I walk around, I'm happy, I smile with everyone, no matter who you are, what color you are. And that's the difference between, liberals and left. The left's colors matter and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say whatever, fuck it. But like you said, I'm not willing to go through another COVID. I'm not trying to do that shit again. I'm a good person. You're turning me into a bad one.
Exactly. If I was doing heroin every show and passing out, you would not be a good person to just say, "Oh, fuck it. Let him do his own thing." Like these people hated you years ago, Trevor. Do you just stop hating someone?
Dude, Joe Biden called us the enemy of the state.
I'm just saying, it's just
the
like
enemy, bro.
Just like in Vietnam, bro. They're like, oh, didn't know Viet Cong ever call me the N-word. Didn't know fucking Taliban ever call me a MAGA fascist.
Yeah.
Like, no, they hate us.
And so, do you think, going back to the chess games, the easiest way to get a team to turn on themselves, and I heard this, I think this is Jocko, easiest way to get a team to turn on themselves is to cause an uproar within the team. So if someone already hates someone, you're saying in Navy SEAL training, if there was already beef between two people, they would emphasize the beef to see if they could stand it. Do you think this is all being played out by China and Russia and all of those people who are like, let's get in the heads of Americans and let's do this? Because they already got their shit figured out. They knew no one was going to go against what they're saying. They just, like, China knows no one's going to speak up against this. But if we do this to America, we might be getting them to divide.
It's not the Chinese or the Russians though doing it. I'll tell you that much. But I mean, I think that
they're influencing it.
There is foreign influence to divide us, but that's already happened. People, what we were talking about, bro. People hated us for not wearing masks. We did not start the division in this country.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think foreign affairs did it? Foreign nations.
I think Israel did that shit. Absolutely. They had a means to do it. They had a motivation to do it.
And it's just to get our land or take over for us.
When people are divided, they're more easier to conquer and control. It's that simple.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So yeah, so the enemy did this.
Oh yeah, bro. Look at look at this. How united we were after World War II, right? compared to where we are now in 80 years. That doesn't happen without something being intentional, right?
Yeah.
What my point is, I think we're past the point of saying, did it happen or did it not? I think it has happened. We've seen how divided we are, but then it's like, well, I'm sorry. If it's between you and them,
Yeah.
you're I guess, like, I don't want it to be like a my side versus their thing, but what my hope is we can kind of, by talking to people, make a what not a side, but like I guess a big group or a faction of people
Yeah.
that value individual sovereignty.
And that's what you need. That's what I was saying. You need a group because doing it individually is not going to work. You need the team. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what it's going to do is bring everyone together and realize, like, political sides aside, when your freedom is being trespassed upon,
Yeah.
right?
You feel
And
it. It's
you
like you said,
feel it,
it's an
dude.
emotional thing.
You can feel it. And I think that's what the solution is. I don't think it's a civil war, or everyone getting more developed or more entrenched in their own sides. I think it's us realizing, okay, there's a side that wants to control you and everything you say, and then there's everyone else. And that's the group that we need to fucking build up and empower. Because, I mean, people are going to be evil, dude. That's just going to happen. But what we can do is make that group really, really tiny and say, yeah, y'all have no power here. You try and
Yeah.
control us, we mock you, bro. You get spit on in your own fucking cities.
Yeah.
They,
Shout out to DeSantis. That's exactly what he's doing.
yeah, dude. Like, good. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Now you just took away the local government of Disney like a year ago or whatever. That's what I figured out what was happening in school.
Yeah.
DeSantis literally, the state has the power to give local government authority
Mm-hmm.
or establish a local government. Disney was its own government.
I
And
heard some weird shit about that.
Yeah, we tax Disney. Finally, DeSantis says Disney is no longer their own government. We're dissolving it. We're taking over because of all the shit going on. So finally, it's not a Disney police anymore. It's the state's police again.
Yeah.
So it's saying, you know what, that's enough. But it's so tough because you get so much backlash and you get so much hate for doing something like that. But at the same time, it's like, do you really care? Because even like Christian versus atheist, do I really care if an atheist hates my point of view? If an atheist says fuck you for your religious beliefs, do I really give a shit? Because they don't think the same way I do. But not only that, they're malicious about it. And like us, we're good people. We're not malicious about it. But you're making us malicious because I started off not caring.
Yes.
Or I started off caring, and now you got me to the point where I don't care because you're just a shitty person. So do I really give a shit if I go around talking about my religious beliefs and anyone who disagrees can chew glass anyways?
That's where I heard a quote one time, bro. It said, your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. And that's what I fucking, every time I think, like, it's not my nature to fucking mock someone for wearing a mask. But it's like, I have seen what those people like and what they approve of. And that's not something I want to give a shit about at all, bro.
Yeah.
Like, if you cheer about me being thrown in jail because I don't wear a mask, right? I don't give a shit what you dislike about me.
Yeah, that's an enemy. But that's the problem. We haven't been. Nothing on the media says the mask wearer is our enemy. It's the opposite.
Which is why the populism side of us, like, collectively realize, it's like the school with what they're teaching kids in school, right? Most parents do not want their kids seeing a book of a dude sucking dick, or anyone sucking dick, bro. People don't want that shit to be taught in school, and
anyone sucking
the people that don't want that shit taught is like most people, bro. I had to believe it's like 75 to 80%
at least,
right? And like it's like like a microcosm, I guess you could say. Like that's the type of shit we need to fucking realize is we're not a left and right divide. We're kind of a common sense where this is just not going to fly versus the loudest people who are just saying we must let this fly.
Yeah, I heard, dude. The shit from Prager yesterday just blew my mind. It was only, I think it was an hour-long podcast, and I watched a little 30-minute thing. And he's got a cool thing. It's fireside talks. And he just sits by his fire in his house and talks. But he was on this podcast, dude, and he said, no one on the left has wisdom. It's all intelligence. The left has intelligence. They're smart. They're not stupid. They can't get to this state without being smart. But the wisdom is a completely different thing. Wisdom is experience. Wisdom is life itself. Being smart is easy. You can know 1 + 1 or whatever it is. That's easy. But if you don't have any wisdom, so you don't know how it plays out. And that's how socialism and communism and all that shit goes awry, because that's a leftist ideology. And they have no wisdom towards how it should work or how it should be run. They just think, oh, in the books, these are the facts, whatever the facts they think it is, and it should be good like this. They're good to go. That's why socialism's never been truly tried before.
Yo, it is.
You have a definition of socialism, and this didn't quite fit the definition. But if you look at it through our lens with wisdom, you're like, oh no, that's fucking.
Maybe for a reason. No, it's smart to jail your political opponents, but it's not wise at all, because you realize when the other party gets in power, they can do the same thing to you.
And that's the turn where I'm expecting. Do you expect a Reagan style election where it's 49-1?
Oh fuck,
this time,
dude.
Yeah,
never. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I thought that was gonna happen in 2020, and look how that totally legitimately played out. Of course.
But yeah, if it was legitimate, do you think that would have happened?
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, not to Reagan's extent.
I think this next election it will, but
I think the saving grace is that people are so on guard about that. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't need to happen. You know, Trump only lost by less than 50,000 votes in the states that matter. You don't need to have every single state but one. You know,
that's true.
That happened organically, bro. That didn't.
You don't need to win the election that way, but do you need that to turn the country around? Is a 51-49 election going to solve the problem? Of what
I don't think so, and I don't like. I think that is a problem in and of itself. That kind of unity, because the closest thing we have ever had to that as younger people was right after 9/11,
right
when Bush had a 90% approval rating, and look what that happened. Look what happened with that. We just went into war with the country for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the division is kind of a good thing in that regard, bro. When people are so united and ready to, shoot at whatever target's up there, we're easy to manipulate, and that's when bad things happen.
Yeah,
like that was what the difference was with Reagan, is that it was generally good, that like the byproduct of that.
What do you say? The government isn't the solution; it's part of the problem.
Yes, and that's where the right, happens to take the L, is where the party of small government. It's like that doesn't work when you want the big government, or when the big government party is taking over all your shit.
Yeah.
You can't do it over your small government.
Gotta do something, bro.
Yo, a fucking big old L, dude.
Yeah. Dude, that's so. No, I didn't expect to talk about any of this. I just wanted to talk 9/11. We ended up going
that's why we deserve the people that lost their lives on that day to have these discussions, bro.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get to see what happened after that. And I think the only way that we can prevent another thing like that from happening is if we have these discussions.
Yeah. Yeah, and it stinks because now, like, we have to relate it to COVID, because that's like the 9/11 of our generation, pretty much. I mean, you think about the lives lost. How many, how many were lost? It's more than 9/11, but do you see it as tragic as 9/11? It's not as tragic. It didn't happen like that. It didn't happen in one day. It didn't happen within like 3 hours of each other.
Yeah.
All
I
all
don't
three
know.
attacks. Like
it- I think they were both incredibly tragic, just in different ways.
I think it's pretty similar ways because of how it went about.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know, like
like
it's fairly similar. The government
us
lying,
us being attacked. Yeah.
us being attacked, people dying. Almost like a that's what I'm saying. That's the only difference is it didn't happen quick, so people didn't unite quickly. People didn't. There was no 9/12,
Well,
and
and think no,
it's slowly becoming a 9/12,
but
and
we
it's
didn't
slowly building up.
have Twitter back then.
Right.
Do you think we would have invaded Iraq in the first place if people could see how much of a lie it was?
Like
I
if
mean,
9/11 happened today, would we go into Iraq?
would we go into Iraq right now? Yeah, if 9/11 happened today. I personally, I don't think so.
I think we would end up in nine. I think we would. Ukraine.
But people
Yeah.
can tell that that's bullshit. They're just doing it anyway. People can see the bullshit that the government is pushing now because there's so much access to information.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have went to Iraq after 9/11 happened.
That's what I'm saying. I think we would have, but I think our force would have been weaker, just like Ukraine. Like morale on a morale standpoint. People like the people. This is what people don't understand. Is like soldiers are no longer soldiers like they were in World War II. Soldiers are everyday people just like us. Just affected in a different way. But when I was going to work, I see my mom do it every day. I was waking up at 6, brushing my teeth, getting changed, getting lunch together, going to work. It was a normal life. And people don't understand that. They think like soldiers are so badass or whatever it is. Soldiers are this or soldiers are that. Like you're saying, soldiers are on Twitter. Fucking Alexander for one. Shout out to Alexander. He's on Twitter. Smart dude. Still a part of the military. But the morale is they're beating up the morale so much to where there's less people joining the forces. And at some point, I don't know if this would even happen, but you only have enough soldiers to take care of your land.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like our military is going to run thin enough to where we got to we don't even have people stationed in our own places.
Well, it's like when there's access to information, people are harder to bullshit.
Right.
Like with the recruiting thing, bro. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have 10,000 soldiers I could ask about their experience. Now I can go on Reddit and see what the reality is actually like. I can go on Twitter and see what the reality is actually like. People are harder to fool when they have such information that contradicts the official government narrative.
Yeah.
And that I think is something we should be thankful for all the nonsense social media has caused is it's harder for the government to lie about things.
That's why independent journalism's so badass. That's why I love what we do.
We could have still gone into Iraq, but we probably wouldn't have been the giant war that it was now. Same with Afghanistan.
Well, yeah. I don't know. How long do you think Ukraine will play out? Till the next president?
They're running out of Ukrainians, bro. Shit ain't gonna last that much longer.
Did you see the fight in the Ukraine parliament or whatever they call it?
No, I wouldn't.
Dude, like in their house, in their government, they were fucking fight, like not like throwing shit or nothing. No, they were fist fighting in the Ukraine government.
That was like known as the most corrupt country up in fucking Europe up until when the war started. They're drafting fucking like 70-year-old men, bro. They're not gonna. That shit ain't gonna last that long.
No,
they don't have enough people, bro.
But that's what I'm saying is fucking Afghanistan, Taliban, all like Afghanistan didn't have enough people. We gave them the people. We were the people over there, bro. Without us, they fall, just like it fucking happened when we pulled out.
Well, and two, yeah, they've been at war since the country's inception. They're all used to having 10 kids, to survive.
Yeah,
but no, bro. Fuck the Ukraine, dude. I ain't got a good thing to say about the Ukraine.
I do fuck with their flag. It is a cool flag, but
I'm sick of seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
I feel the worst for the people in that country, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And that. Do you think that's because we're soldiers and we've been in that situation, or you think that's just like, why do you feel for the people over there? You know what I'm saying?
Because, dude, you're a bunch of citizens of a country with a really corrupt government that's conscripting you to fight. You can't say no. That, I think, would be the worst thing, is if you knew the war was bullshit before you went.
Vietnam
Yes. Imagine
drafted in.
if, bro, yeah, exactly. But like, you know that it's nonsense, and yet you're still getting forced to go fight in it, knowing that you'll probably die or at the worst get your leg blown off. Like, that's who I feel for, bro. Is the people there that know that this government is nonsense, still think that they can win somehow, and are sent to the front lines.
Yeah.
All for what, dude?
Yeah, fucking yeah.
Dude, I don't know, dude. It's just tough.
Yeah. Fucking brutal.
What
I
we
like
at?
this long form though, going on for a while.
Yeah,
man.
bro. We
I
don't
fuck
have
with
that many. It's just us. I fuck with it, dude.
it. Yeah, no, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good because this is like everyday conversation. Not every day like this, but I mean,
Yeah,
we
no.
go on for hours almost every day about some shit.
This is the type of shit we talk about in our discourse, though.
Yeah.
So,
Link below.
link below. Y'all want to chop it up, yo? Hit us up, dude.
Yeah, no, we love because it's hard, man, when you're just living out there, going to work, coming home, going to school, and you got a bunch of fucking hooligans around you believing to do this right. Like, literally go read a book. Like, go read a book on fucking communism, anything, Marxism, anything. Just go read a fucking book about history, and you will soon realize this shit leads to an absolute shit show of a country and situation.
Look up the Bolshevik Revolution if you want to see what's happening right now. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, that's it's fucking tough, man. It's the everyday people. It's hard to stand by because, you know, it's like people like us, just normal, average people living life, end up turning into a bad person in some regard just to try and save themselves. Like, at what point is it not bad? Like you're saying, it's good to talk shit about someone who's wearing a mask.
It's a necessary evil. It is
Yeah.
not a fight that we started,
Yeah,
but it's a fight that we found ourselves in, and there is no option but to win. So win.
Yeah, amen, dude. Come on.
What other well, I could look up throughout the history of what's going to happen if we lose. That's not a good option, bro.
Yeah, and I think that's our saving grace is the people on the right do know their shit. They do know history, and that's why they feel this way. That's why they feel the way we do. So I do think there won't be like a situation where we're all in prison camps or some shit like it was in World War II. Because if someone came to arrest me for some bullshit reason, it would not happen. Like, people are going to start killing cops. It's going to start happening. People are going to start killing the FBI. When you see videos like this dude, I think his name was Nick, who gets arrested in front of his own privately owned business for being at January 6th, nothing to do with it, being there, and he gets arrested, and there's people filming him, and the FBI saying, back off. He said, I could go over there. Yes, I know you could go over there. All right, so we're both aware I can go over there. Yes. All right, why can't I go over there? We just ask you don't. Shit's going to start happening. You know what I'm saying? We just it's his business, so don't worry about it. Shit's going to start happening. People are going to start dying, and that's the shitty part is when you start standing up. And I was even thinking when watching this video, I'm like, man, I would give my life. I would put my life on the line to go figure out the truth for that guy. Whether the FBI wanted to kill me or not, there's going to be a fight put up because that guy can't do it anymore. He's handcuffed. He's going to prison. He can't fight for himself anymore. They locked his ass up. Someone has to fight for him. And I would be willing to die for that. If I had to kill an FBI officer so that they kill me, shout out to the FBI listening to this right now.
Oh my God.
Just so that they kill me.
Man. We're not trying to kill any FBI listener, bro. This is all in Minecraft.
But if I had to, and that's what caused this was my mental process. I would have killed one of them so that they would kill me so that the media has to report on this. There's no way they can breeze by this shit. But at the same time, they do every day. So would it even work?
Let's just not get in trouble, bro.
I don't know.
Save
We're
that
already
for
in-
when we have the media control. Now we are already fucked, but
Yeah. Yeah. No.
yeah, no, that's the real way we can fight is by uniting and
Yeah.
talking to people that can be swayed. And when you see someone wearing a mask, fucking ridicule them. They think we are less than dirt. Treat them the same way.
Amen. Anything
was-
else, dude?
Not really, bro.
Yeah, nothing on
I don't know.
9/11.
I don't know. I said my part on that, man.
Yeah.
Just
No, I feel for the families. I feel for the ones lost. It's a tough sacrifice, but realize that it is a sacrifice to get to where we are now. People's minds are open, and people are realizing that this may have just been a scam. And if you're in the situation like I was in, where I'm thinking, man, this is a scam. My life sucks. I can't believe this happened to me. I can't believe this happened to your husband, wife, whoever it was that died in 9/11. Just realize that it was for the greater good. Everything happens for a reason. I don't believe humans are inherently good, but I don't believe that they're completely bad either.
yes, realize that the sacrifice is not in vain. We knew that
Yeah.
we were lied to following and about the events about it, but
Yeah.
we are having these conversations to wake people up, and we are not going to let that happen again. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah. But with that, we will catch you next time. I'm glad
Yes,
you
sir.
tuned in. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Honor Guard Coffee, baby.
Link down below.
Link down below. Extremely, extremely, extremely excited to get a partnership with that man and that company. It's just, we are actually blessed beyond belief. Fucking 3 years ago, I was in quite the hole. And to see where I'm at now, I was writing about it yesterday in my journal. It's just, it feels really good. We're doing great. Podcast is going well. And there's only better things to come. There's only one way to go, and that is straight the fuck up, baby.
Can't even see that high. Yes, sir.
Amen, dude. So we'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for tuning in.